Do you want to like come clap in the mic? I want you to try this out. So like clap. So now we'll know when we'll be able to line up on that mark. And yeah. All right, welcome to the first Revolution Mindset podcast. This is not the fitness formula. This is something that I just want to be able to do solo, something I can just throw together real quick. I'm kind of thinking about just putting this at the end of my week, just kind of talk about stuff and go through my week for prepping for a bodybuilding show. Those are some of my goals this year. Still independent training and just kind of going through life as a young adult, young man, and just throwing out whatever advice or anything else I might have. And really what sparked it is I saw this cute little Instagram post, and it really related to my life. It said, "This garden is beautiful," said Tiny Dragon. Big Panda nodded, "and we only found it because we went the wrong way so many times." And that's huge for me because I think I've been given so many no's in life, and I feel like I've taken what feels like so many wrong turns, yet I wouldn't change it for anything else, and especially with how much knowledge I have. And funny enough, I'm working at the same exact place I worked at 2 years ago, but I mean, I feel so much better, feel so much more blessed to be in this scenario I am right now. And even still, this week, I was kind of like just now settling down into that role, and things are kind of smooth with where I'm training independently right now. But I'm always thinking about how can I make it better? How can I improve? What is like the real end game here? What's the real long term goal? Because with where I'm training right now, I kind of foresee a problem, definitely in the summertime. There's just going to be way too many people in there. I don't think it's a big enough gym. And really, I want to be somewhere where I can like solidify myself and, you know, stay long term. So I'm looking at this gym called Evo. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to tour that tomorrow. And it's a great private gym, and I think it's just going to be somewhere where I can flourish even further than where I'm at right now. I've been removed from Lifetime for about 4 or 5 months now, and it feels really good. It was really scary getting out of that, but there hasn't been a single day where I felt more stressed than how stressed I was at Lifetime. Some days, like, I mean, it was literally like breaking down and like tears at some point, and not because of like anything in specific, but just because it really, it's not even that it didn't feel meaningful, but I just knew that wasn't where I was supposed to be. And I don't know, I think if your body and mind is telling you that, then, you know, by all means, like, get out and try to move on to the next thing. And that was another sort of big thing in my life that felt like a wrong turn or a no in some sense, where it's like I've been told no so many times, no so many times, and then I get this job at Lifetime, and it's like, whoa, like this is the end goal here. This is it. Like I did it, and that turned out not to be true. Couldn't be further from the truth. And so that was kind of just like a big shock to me, and it's like my body and mind was just rejecting the idea of it. And not obviously, but I didn't handle it in the best ways, I feel like. But I've never been the kind of guy to idly or like smoothly walk out the door. I've always burned the boats because I love that story too. I forgot who it was. Some conquistador, you know, going to conquer it wasn't even an island. I think it was somewhere in Mexico or Spain, something like that. And I don't know, he got there and all his men were scared and they were like talking about going back. They didn't think they could win. And, you know, he burned the boats. And so they had absolutely no choice but to move forward. And that's my mentality through life. It's sink or swim, or it's burning the boats, because I don't know, why would you not live like that? Why would you not have that? If you do, I think that's the hardest part for most people, and that's where I really can't give advice, or if I do, it's not adequate enough. But once when you find that goal and that passion, and if you have that in mind, then you shouldn't be wasting your time doing literally anything else. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about, and I get in trouble with a lot for sure. But why do stuff that you don't want to do, right? And it's not that black and white, but once when you have that goal in mind and that passion in mind, all you need to do is determine like, okay, what is necessary and what's not. You might not want to wake up at 6 a.m., but if you have this ultimate goal in mind, then that's necessary. So you need to be able to decipher like what's necessary and what's bullshit. And that makes you more efficient going through life and going towards your ultimate goal. And I think that's something that I've thrived at, and I think that's something that has immensely helped my stress load. Because if you're going through life and you're letting people put just unnecessary loads on you and unnecessary stress and unnecessary tasks, and especially if you don't have the spine to say no, one, it's going to keep happening, and two, you're 6 months into a job, 3 months into a job, whatever it is, and you're not any closer to where you really want to be. You're just another sort of yes person in the clog. And I don't think people need to be naive to like, not recognize that. And like that, not recognize that, but other people will recognize that and take advantage of it. Because that's sort of the reality of the world. So it's about, I don't know, just doing what's necessary. And I don't know, and people don't like that, and people will call you selfish, but I mean, I've always been in the thought as well of like, you take care of your shit and I'll take care of mine. And that sounds bad, but I don't know, to me, that's the reality of the world. And I think it's great to be able to help people and be able to rely on others. And I think you have your circle, but I think if that's just the expectation, then that's selfish on their part. Because it's like, if you're expecting me to clean up after your mistakes and like we don't really have the relationship after that, that's just an expectation. It's like, take care of your shit. So that's harsh, but I don't know. That I think it's an efficient way to live through life. It could get lonely that way. I don't know. That's definitely the thing that I have struggled most with, ever since I've moved out and even before, is just that feeling of loneliness. But I think you can easily supplement that with like purpose, because I think a lot of times people will take that false sense of not even community, because community is a good word, but that false sense of acquaintanceship, of being surrounded by people. Because just because you're surrounded by people, people know this, like, doesn't mean you're not alone, or doesn't mean that you are. Yeah, doesn't mean that you are alone, not alone, something like that. Just because you're surrounded by people doesn't mean that you are alone, aren't alone. Okay, we'll edit that. But because you can be surrounded by the wrong people. The people can be driving you once again off your path, and then for the most part, then you're just wasting time. And I think everything, and I'm talking really fast, I need to slow down, but I think everything that young people need to be aiming for is just being efficient. And because I think there's just a lot of wasted time. And so if you're able to find a partner, or if you're able to find friends that can help you become more efficient, not only by like the work that they put in and what you can learn from them, but just by keeping you on your path, you can be way past people your age and way past, what other people might expect you to be at. And then just, I don't know, I should have wrote some more stuff down, but I think just to stay on the theme of like, being told no in life, I think it's very important to not have crazy adverse reactions to that. Because like there was a time where I got told no and I was like, that's it, I'm killing myself. But I didn't, and I'm very grateful for that now. And now that thought doesn't really cross my mind at all. And it was about 2 years ago. I had been working at this place called Cowboys Fit, and I was working at the front desk, but I really wanted to be a personal trainer, and that was the place where I was seeing people train, and I was like, man, dude, I need to get all my certification. So I got my certification, and I went up to the fitness manager at the time, and man, I embarrassed myself. I just could not form a sentence. I was probably talking a lot how I'm talking right now, just like way too fast, could not like get it together, just super nervous. And so first impressions are everything. So I didn't really get an interview for a while after that. Got a first interview after that, was super nervous, didn't pass it. And then I got a second interview, still got told no, and I'm pretty sure I cried both times in front of them when I got told no. And they essentially like, told me like I was like a little young, I wasn't developed yet, and it just really hurt because I had like no idea. I was like that's it. Like I thought I was a shoe in for that. I thought it was for sure thing, and it just absolutely crushed me. And then you gotta kind of deal with the harsh reality and like definitely the embarrassment because I think we all do it. But you have like these lofty goals in mind, or you imagine like the best case scenario. What are you gonna do when you get this job and you're gonna start making money? And then it's like, you hear the glass like breaking, and it didn't happen. But that no led me to work at a private gym that was really spectacular. I didn't spend enough time at because that's another problem I have, and I'll probably deal with that more on another episode. But I wanted results too quickly, and I wanted like things to happen too quickly. But they were great, and it also gave me the opportunity to internship at the sports performance facility. I don't know how impactful that was, but I mean, I definitely did learn some stuff, and it's great on the resume, and it was like definitely a learning experience, and it helped me get the job, I think, for lifetime. And so that no from Cowboys Fit helped me eventually get a yes at Lifetime, and then that yes from Lifetime came with many more no's at Lifetime. But because of those no's and because of that one yes, I was able to get so much experience, so much session delivery. And one thing that is underrated, and I think like everyone should be appreciative of and should try to use the most of, is like how many people you can learn from at Lifetime or just bigger gyms, because there are just so many people there. There's so many talented people there, and there's so many people there that they can even just put like one drop of knowledge in your bucket. Like you got to take that and run. And I guess that's another piece of advice I would give to young people, and one thing that I've gotten a lot better at, especially with being a trainer, is just being able to talk to people more. But I mean, just ask questions. Just keep asking questions, even if they're stupid questions. That like, just repeat what they said, or just have a little bit of interest in what a person is saying, and I guarantee you, like, they'll have something just a little bit worthwhile for you. But that kind of brings me to where I am now, and like I said, I mean, I'm just so thankful for all the opportunities that I have now, and just the big dreams that I have. And that's another thing I'd say. If you're starting to feel comfortable, and if you're young, like, that's not a good thing. I'd say you want to feel uncomfortable. And I just got done walking a little bit on the treadmill, and I was thinking, it feels like anxiety, but I'm just really excited for this week. I'm really excited for tomorrow, because I'm going to check out that new gym, and I just want to like ask questions, like kind of just see how it works, and start dreaming about the next thing. And you've heard it, but I mean, that should scare you, and it should give you a little bit of anxiety, and it should give you excitement, because if you're not exciting yourself and scaring yourself when you're 20, 21, 22, 23, like, where are you going? Like, you're not doing big enough things at that point, yeah, it's kind of weird talking to yourself on here, but I don't know, it does feel good, at least being able to get some stuff out there, because I feel like I have made a lot of mistakes, and that if I'm able to share that and help even one person sort of take that and help their life a little bit, that's sort of my goal with this. And I kind of just want to be able to go over and review my weeks as well, and also, like I was saying before, I don't want to have to rely on people to do this, because I really do enjoy podcasting and talking, and trying to educate whenever I can. And there's just more stuff that I want to be consistent with, as far as like Instagram posting, because I've gotten like people who tell me like they'll follow my workouts on there, and that makes me feel really fulfilled. And I think that's all that it is at the end of the day, because I had a client yesterday, and I was telling my girlfriend about this, but he said, he was nice, and we were talking, and I was doing that. Like I said, I was asking him a bunch of questions, and then he, and then that's the other interesting thing. If you ask people enough questions, half the time they'll ask questions back, and you're able to make acquaintance. And he was asking me about college and all this, and I was like, I don't really think I need college. I've gotten this far, and I kind of see my route. And he said, well, you're not gonna make the kind of money I make, if you don't go to college. Pretty much is what he said. At first, I'm like, I used to be that guy where it was like all about money, but it's like, are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Like, in the back of my mind, it's like, I'm training you. It's like I wouldn't trade like my health for 500 grand a year or $1 million a year. So you gotta obviously measure happiness that way, but just the fact that I am doing what fulfills me and like what makes me happy. And I don't know, when you find that, and I describe it as like the flow state. If you're working and you're not, and you don't feel like work, and I used to get it like sometimes when I played basketball, but when you're just doing stuff kind of without thinking about it, and it kind of just starts coming together, that's how you found it. And then like take that feeling and take that profession or whatever it is you're doing and make it a profession. Even if it's not a profession right now, make it a profession. Because there are so many like creative opportunities out there, and like and I'm still probably like at the bottom of the bucket, at least as far as my potential. I'm at the bottom of the bucket, and then even like with my profession, like it's an older profession, and it's nothing nuanced. Like you can find that kind of flow state and monetize it. Go for that, because life, I don't know, it's not worth. Not that it's not worth working 40 hours a week, but there are a lot of opportunities out there. So I would say find that thing that obviously makes you happy and can fulfill you, and just try going in every avenue you can with it until you're completely exhausted. Because if not, then you haven't really given it a real shot. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say for this. That was a lot. I know I talked too fast, but I was nervous. So hopefully the next one will be a little bit better. I hope some people learn from this. And yeah, I'm sorry if I breathed in the mic too, because I was talking really fast. All right. See ya.